After an overly adrenaline-filled dive at French Cap, we retreat to Buck Island Cove in search of a more peaceful dive. Buck Island is located about 2 miles south of St. Thomas. The 25-foot-high Danish-built lighthouse that you see in the background was erected in 1913. It is not operational and is closed to the public. Hopefully, this rainbow signifies a good change in luck on this day. In 1969, the 43-acre Buck Island was transferred to the United States Fish and Wildlife Service due to its value for migratory birds. It became the Buck Island National Wildlife Refuge. The refuge boundary extends to sea level and does not include submerged or marine habitat. The surrounding waters contain reefs and a shipwreck that attract large numbers of snorkelers, divers, and boaters. The marine area is home to a variety of fish and animals. Visitors can snorkel or scuba dive through the reef, observing and enjoying the fascinating underwater scenery and its special resident turtles. Excursions by boat, including snorkeling and diving trips, are readily available from St. Thomas. At the start of the dive, we see the usual suspects of the reef, such as the Spanish hogfish, rock beauty, grunts, and various parrotfish. We finally hit a point where you can see two reef mounds, basically separated by sand and seagrass. Here I found some plate-sized snapper. This area is about 70 feet to the bottom. I wonder if it's only me that starts thinking about how I'm going to prepare my catch before I even exit the water. What can I say? Snapper meat is sweet. If you know, you know. You may notice that it looks a bit gloomy down here. Well, that's for a few reasons. As you can see, there are quite a few particulates floating in the water, which can affect the overall visibility on a dive. I am currently diving at about 70 feet, so we lose a little bit of natural light at depth. Also, if you remember the rainbow we saw earlier, that came after the rain. So there is some cloud cover going on right now. So even at 3:30 in the afternoon, it can look like a sunset dive. Another good reason to always have a flashlight. I promise you, that's not the Salvation Army bell that you hear jingling. That's JP using his underwater noisemaker, the maracas, to get my attention. Trouble with sound underwater is you can never tell what direction it's coming from. When you clap your hands in the air, sound waves travel through the air to your ears. Underwater, sound works a bit differently. Water is denser than air, which means the particles are packed closer together. This makes it easier for sound waves to travel faster and further. Imagine throwing a pebble into a pond. The ripples spread out quickly and widely. That's kind of how sound waves move in water. Good thing is we've been swimming near each other, so I know the general direction he's located in. I approached this lionfish at the wrong angle. He saw me coming and makes a run for it. On this next swing, the prong only nicked the tail and he tries to scurry. When I try to place it in the zookeeper, the weak hold on it breaks, but I get another shot. Yes, I am upside down looking in this hole. This is why it's best to aim for the head. Fish and other sea creatures can hear sounds from far away because the sound waves travel so well through water. That's why dolphins and whales use special sounds to communicate with each other, even when they're miles apart. Next time you're in a pool or at the beach, dunk your head underwater and listen. You might be surprised at what you hear. Right here, you can see what a big difference having a flashlight makes. On a cloudy day, or even with the sun shining bright, there's a lot of shadowing happening on the reef. We use a flashlight to reveal the things we otherwise wouldn't be able to see. This is especially useful when hunting for lionfish because they tend to gravitate to these types of areas on the reef. From the jump, this lionfish decided to give me a run for my money. I found him again hiding in the reef, but obviously didn't hit it in a good spot. I realized that my prongs are spaced out a bit too much, but don't have anything to bring them in. Normally, I would use a hairband around the prongs to squeeze them closer to each other. I hit him a couple times, but it kept getting away. In the shuffle with the other lionfish, there is another one just chilling on top of the reef. Clearly, this isn't my day for lionfish. I started the dive with only just over 2,000 psi in my tank. We normally start with at least 3,000. The low fill likely happened at the dive shop, so unfortunately I am out of time for this dive, and it's time to return to the surface. Even with a few mishaps, my mantra remains: a bad day of diving beats a good day on land. I've got a few snapper for the dinner table, a ridiculously low average on the lionfish, but we removed a few and that's always a win. With the sun quickly retreating, we head back into shore. I'd say everyone accomplished what they set out to do today, and there's going to be some fish on the grill soon. As another adventure ends, we add to our dive logs and core memories. A day filled with frenzy, plenty of fish, and most important, time spent with friends. The adventure doesn't end here. Click on the next video to join me on the best shore dive in St. Thomas, Cookie Point Beach. Stay salty, my friends.